Welcome to Frost Astrophotography. It certainly does not look it right now, but according to forecasts, it is going to be clear tonight. So hopefully this will be first light with the observatory. For the first time in a month, I have a somewhat clear night, even though there are northern lights outside. The goal for this evening is to test the new observatory and all the systems to see if everything is working. You're looking at the security camera inside of the observatory, and I'm going to start off by opening the roof. I'm now going to start astrophotography tool and PhD2 guiding. I haven't really switched over to Nina yet, so I will have to return to that in another video. I'm connecting my scope, focuser, and the filter wheel, as well as my camera. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to start cooling my camera to -10 degrees Celsius. As you can see here, I have the scope parked to an observatory position, and you can see that on the camera here as well. I'm now going to unpark it and park it to the home position. See if that works. So I'm going to unpark here. I'm going to select park to home position and then click. That seems to work nicely so far. Now the telescope is in the home position. I'm connecting everything in PhD2 guiding, and I'm checking to see if I can see some stars, and I can. I'm still cooling here. I'm going to check out the Iris Nebula, so I'm going to unpark the scope here, select the object, and then go to I'm still waiting for the camera to cool, but I can do a 5-second test shoot anyway. What you're looking at here is a 5-second exposure with the luminance filter, and I haven't focused since the last time, but you can still see the Iris Nebula up here. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to plate solve this image. So I'm selecting the closest known object, and I am doing a plate solve. It should go fairly quickly. Yes, it didn't take long. So I'm going to synchronize the results with my scope, and I'm going to center the object in my field of view. It only had to move one time because we were very close to having the object in the center. The cooling has finished. I'm gonna check guiding here. Going to start the guiding. Then we're going to do a focus, and in astrophotography tool you have to set the image preview to 1:1. Then we're going into tools and we're opening autofocus aid and focus aid. We're gonna select a star here, suitable. This one. And we're going to calculate filter offsets for all filters. Now I'm actually using the luminance filter as the master here. As you can see here in PhD2 guiding, I have pretty good figures. I have a total RMS error of 0.33 right now. And this is the results of a hypertune of my HEQ5 Pro. I've replaced all the ball bearings to SKF high quality, and I've also mounted the mount and telescope on a large concrete pier in my observatory, as you know by now. I've used SharpCap for a polar alignment, and I'm really happy with the performance of the HEQ5 Pro after the hypertune and adjustments. As you can see, it's very stable around 0.3 total RMS error. So I will try 120-second exposure. So I want to have 180 seconds, bin 2, gain 120, and do 10 for luminance. I think I will check out M45 Pleiades. Go to. I'm going to take a 5-second exposure here to see where we're at. You can already see them up here. I'm starting the guiding and I will do a plate solve. I'll sync that results and we will center the object. We'll do a 180 exposure just to see what we can see with the luminance filter here. Let's check out another target. Let's go for the Andromeda Galaxy. Go to. Let's check out another target. Let's go for the Andromeda Galaxy. Go to. Let's see what we find here. There it is, first attempt. That's pretty amazing. I'm very pleased with the performance of my gear at the moment. And I am going to take a 180-second exposure here as well. I realize I'm going to blow out the core substantially, but let's test it anyway. And there we have it, the North American Nebula. Now we are going to test a narrowband filter. I'm going to select the H alpha filter. I'm just going to see if the focus is fine, and then we're going to do a 5-minute exposure test. Setting this to 300, and we're going to see what we get. Coming up on 300 seconds or 5 minutes. And there we have it. Before closing down for this evening, due to some mixed weather and clouds when I thought we were going to have a clear night, I'm going to warm up the camera. Now this is important, so you don't just shut down the camera. You need to warm it. Now the scope is parked right now into the home position, and before we can close the observatory, we need to have it in the observatory position. So what we're going to do is to actually change the park mode to observatory position. Now, obviously, I'm going to integrate this with Nina, but for right now, I don't have that. I can, however, control the roof with my home automation system, so I can close it from inside here. So I'm going to activate the roof. And now the observatory has been closed. I'm disconnecting PhD to guiding, closing that. The warming sequence has finished. You don't actually have to warm it to exactly ambient temperature, but you do want it to be above freezing. So when that's finished, you will turn the cooler on the camera off. Then we're going to disconnect the scope, the focuser, and the filter wheel. And then we're going to disconnect the camera. Then we can close the astrophotography tool. So let's see what we have. Andromeda Galaxy, one single exposure with the luminance. We have the Pleiades, one single luminance exposure, 180 seconds. the Iris Nebula, 180-second single exposure, also luminance. And just for fun, we also tested the narrowband with H-alpha, 300 seconds of the North American Nebula. And there we have that. So I'm pretty happy with these tests. I must say I do of course really like the narrowband, but I haven't really actually been able to image anything in LRGB because the spring was too short, and I had just recently purchased the mono camera and the filters. So I'm going to really enjoy gathering data on these targets. The Andromeda Galaxy, that will be great, I think. Pleiades as well. I'm gonna have fun with that. And Iris Nebula and the North American. All in all, I would say that this was a successful first test. I'm obviously going to set up Nina now because I'm transitioning over to Nina as my acquisition software. But I haven't learned all features in that yet, and I didn't really know if the observatory and the setup was working properly, but now I've put it to the test. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you like it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel if you're new here. Until the next video, I hope you have, unlike me here, some clear skies.